Hey guys, Stamina here, and we're back with another tips and tricks video. This time we're actually going to be going over Mirage and how to default on the T side. A lot of what you're going to see here is stuff that I've learned from watching teams such as G2, Heroic, Navi, and Liquid, and that I've used in my own team play, and they've used as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this piece. So the first thing I want to talk about is taking mid control against the current meta on CT side. You're going to typically see a lot of CT teams throw the box molly at you, and they're going to flash a rifler out connector to fight you. Okay, so when you're facing up against this type of fight, you need to know how to like duel it. So one of the best ways that a lot of teams are fighting this is they're actually having somebody smoke top mid, and then from the top mid smoke, they're trying to get a guy out to the boxes, and they'll get somebody out here. Okay, now when that box molly comes in, they're going to smoke that molly, and they're going to have a teammate hold some sort of support flash for them. So this flash is very common. And they're going to pair this flash with that rifler actually mollying window first, just to make sure that nobody can be peeking you from there. And then they're going to throw this flash, and it's going to blind anybody playing off catwalk. You can see it lands there, or in valley, right? Or underpass, even peeking, okay? And then now you're going to peek with that flash and be able to like kill anybody cat, mid valley, etc., and get to Delpan. Now at this point, you've kind of stuffed that mid control. From here, you're going to progress into the rest of your mid control. Typically, you want your underpass player to come through and smoke window like so. You're going to have one of your riflers come down mid valley, and you want them to smoke top con actually from mid valley and molly the left side as well. Now the reason you want your player to do it from mid valley is because they're less susceptible to a rifler playing over top of the one way. Let's say you come up underpass and you want to throw it. This guy can just be posted on you. So now you have to call for a flash. But even if you call for a flash, they can hear the flash from top mid actually if they're playing here. And if they hear that flash coming in and they turn and they fight you, then you're potentially dead. But if this guy runs down mid valley and there's a bottom con smoke, all he has to do is jump to make sure that he can see like the line here. He can smoke. He can molly, and now he's not susceptible to any of those peaks. And of course I missed the smoke. You just want to aim a little bit lower. I kind of threw it too high, but you get the idea. Okay, so that is kind of how you want to progress through. And then the last step is you want to make sure that you're taking ladder room control, and once you're in ladder, now you guys can like split onto A or B very easily. And something that's been very meta recently is actually getting a guy into ladder. And if you want to split A, this guy can actually do the silent drop and come through jungle while you have another rifler coming through connector, and this creates a really nice pincer onto anybody playing in this jungle area. And on top of that, it creates a scenario where this guy could actually cut rotate spawn while everybody else is scaling up and clearing the site. So the next thing I want to talk about is how you can take late mid control. If you're afraid of these fights coming at you mid and you don't really want to duel like this, you can actually do a late mid control, and this is something pretty common. And I just want to give you some tips on some of the best ways to do it. So typically you're going to want to sync up a top connector smoke and a window smoke. So you're going to have a rifler smoke top con from here. Keep in mind this smoke actually takes longer to land, so you're going to want to throw that first. Now you can do this a couple of different ways, but one of the ways that I like to retake mid is actually having a rifler outside a ramp throw a smoke like this, which is a W jump throw, and then comboed with this window smoke, they're actually going to throw a couple flashes like this. What these flashes are going to do is a lot of CTs understand that you're going to do a late mid control, and they actually want to fight you. So they'll have a rifler mid valley, and they'll kind of hold for you from here, or they'll have another rifler on cat playing around this area. And these flashes that I'm throwing from A will actually blind these guys who are playing on catwalk or mid valley, and allow for your riflers coming out mid to not be blind and to just easily trade them, right? These flashes are landing behind them. These flashes also benefit you because they will blind anybody peeking out catwalk, and they'll also be blind anybody peeking out of connector in the mid valley. So they're really beneficial. Now you could do something similar by having your player throw a window smoke from back here, and then you could actually throw like flashes over like this. But these flashes have never been as good for me, just because they will blind anybody playing in mid, right? They'll blind anybody playing from here, but due to the angle, they actually won't blind anybody playing off catwalk. So you would need extra flashes for this guy. You can see it like halfway blinds them, but that's really not good enough in this situation. So these are a couple of tips there. Now you just want to continue the default as standard. You're gonna run up, molly left side. While you're mollying left side, you want to have somebody take catwalk. Be aware, guys, that one of the most common off angles to play is for a rifler to line up bricks with connector like this and play this off angle. This is really important when you're taking catwalk, because if you just peek like the standard angle like this, you're not always going to see them, right? and they're actually at this off angle. So make sure you're hard clearing that off angle and then getting flashed into ladder. And lastly, make sure that you're clearing for anybody who hides on the bricks. A lot of cat players will hide on the bricks and then they'll just re-clear connector. I actually made a video on this on my channel, and this is something that can actually disrupt your mid default very consistently. So obviously we talked about how you can fight the mid fight, or you can fight the CT's mid aggression. You can do a delayed mid control, of course. The next thing I want to talk about is an extremity default. Now these are extremely powerful because it's actually going to mask into the mid fight that we spoke about to begin with. So the concept is you want to get one guy out behind the boxes and you want to have another guy support him while he's getting there, so this guy can like flash window for him and then leave him. And once this guy's out boxes or even towards Delpan, which is really strong, this guy's actually going to go back and he's going to lurk underpass / upper B, and he's just going to control this part of the map right here and here. While this is happening, you're going to have a pack towards A. You're going to typically have one guy palace. This guy can get ready to throw an under Belk Molotov like so, and then you can have two guys ramp, and you can do one of two things. You can either have the rifler flash your opper out in hopes of picking the guy ticket, okay, you're trying to get this jump spotter, or your opper can actually flash out your rifler by throwing a top con smoke and flashing over A, and in tandem with this nade set, having your palace guy molly under Belk. Now what this creates is it creates a scenario where your rifler coming out ramp can actually kill anybody that's under Belk who's forced out by the molly while this flash comes out. And if this is clear and this ticket guy is jump spotting and he drops like his one way, now this rifler can actually go a step further and he can molly ticket like this and make sure that they can't actually use the one way and jump up and fight over with it. And then you can actually work out and get a rifler towards sandwich and actually try to continue onto the A bomb site. Keep in mind, we've already smoked top con. Now, while all of this chaos at A is happening, this gives a lot of opportunity for your extremity lurker, the guy who's watching underpass / upper B, to potentially walk out B and look for a one-on-one. This is very common from heroic. They'll actually have Yabby do this quite frequently, and he'll look for a duel here. And if he gets this kill, now all this chaos that you created at A pulled rotation, and now this guy at B has a free bomb site, right? He won his one-on-one duel, and now he has the bomb site. But it can also work the opposite way. He can actually just continue through underpass, and this guy that we left out top mid / Delpan can actually walk with him. And while we're creating all this chaos at A, these guys can actually come into connector and create a pincer onto the A bomb site, right? And so now we actually have a very simple split, all from this basic extremity default. And as you probably could assume, this works the exact same way towards the B bomb site with like an opera looking for a pick here. And you could even go a step further with throwing a market window smoke and flashing a rifler out and trying to create a lot of chaos. You don't see this version of it too often, but one team that actually did this kind of frequently was Furia. They would try to just send a guy out to Van and they would get him here, and it would get the CTs to drop this smoke. It would typically get the opera to rotate towards B, and he would be smoked off, and he would try to come out and fight and support and bring the cat player back towards B. And now these mid players can work through mid without having to use all that utility, such as a window smoke, top smoke, con molly, etc. So this is a really strong way to approach the T side of Mirage and kind of mask into those other defaults that we spoke about. So the last concept, and probably everybody's favorite, is the fast mid control default. Now, this is really beneficial because at the moment, there's a bunch of spawns that have insta window smokes. Actually, all of these spawns right here in these back two rows have an insta window smoke, and you can go ahead and learn those. I'm not going to show these all in the video now. I'm just going to put myself into the easiest one, the most basic one, which is spawn 9. When you throw these insta window smokes, you can actually pair these smokes with fast top con smokes. So one way that you can throw that is you can actually come here and you're going to crouch walk while you're on top of the trash can from the middle of the wood until you hit the line, okay? And then you're going to jump drill. Now this is going to smoke instant top con very quickly for you. And what you can do with these two smokes is you can actually run up catwalk and you can like instantly take catwalk control. Now one way that my team used to do this, and we found a lot of success with it, was having one player smoke window fast, having another player smoke top con fast, and then our best two spawns for mid would run out mid, and the number one spawn would run up catwalk, and he's going to duel above their bottom con smoke at a very quick rate, okay? And then we'd have another guy come mid valley, and he would molly left side connector. This molly would force people into the crosshair of the guy on cat, and he would have really easy fights. But then if they weren't there, he could progress up catwalk and even into ladder room. Now, we also sometimes would add this flash in tandem, where we would line up between this pole here, the top here of the atrium or whatever you want to call this, and just a W jump throw will actually blind anybody playing on catwalk who maybe is playing back at these off angles. And now this guy on catwalk can get this flash from his teammate, turn the corner, and you could even maybe run this guy down first, and you could have a free opening, all while taking fast cat control. Now you can do a ton of different things with these fast defaults. You could do a fast default into an instant A split where you get 2 guys in connector and you throw a deep jungle smoke like this, and you rip a flash over to blind anybody playing from stairs, right? And now you could have a couple of guys come through connector. Another option is you could get fast ladder control and get 1 guy in there. And then while that 1 guy's in there, you just have 3 guys popping out B, right? You smoke market window from upper, you throw flashes over, and you hit the B site. And these are some really strong ways that you can approach these fast defaults. You could also simply just get 1 guy out mid and into connector, and then you could just pop out A, right? You could have 2 or 3 guys go palace, whatever the case might be. Basically, the idea of these fast defaults is you're creating a lot of chaos and you're getting a lot of space for free. And typically, the best way these fast defaults are going to work is after you've done the slower defaults in mid or even the delayed defaults in mid, and you've kind of created this pace that your opponents think you're going to play at. And now when you put in a pace changer like this, your opponents aren't really going to be able to react to it as easily as they would otherwise. So if you kind of combine these 4 different ideas when you're defaulting mid on Mirage, you can create a T side that is very difficult to read, and not only difficult to read, but very effective in consistently finding opportunities. So I hope you guys enjoyed these different concepts, and I hope this helps you a lot in your efforts. This isn't your typical content for, you know, face it pugs or just pickup games in general. This is more kind of the stuff that you're going to use in team play, but a lot of this can actually carry over into pickup games if you're playing with a stack and whatnot. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this content, I stream every day, twitch.tv/StaminaWow. Actually, all my subscribers on Twitch are eligible to join my subscriber coaching, which I do every other Sunday in my Discord, which you can find the link to that below as well. And lastly, I also do coaching on Metafy. You can request a bunch of different options on there. I do not only coaching, but I do some analysis as well. Some teams have reached out to me to do like anti-stratting and whatnot, so I have that as an option as well. So if any of that sounds good to you, feel free to reach out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, please leave a like, comment, let me know what I can do better and what you want to see in the future. And yeah, I appreciate all the support. Peace.